This video will go over investigation-derived waste, or IDW, and recommended best practices for FUDSChem. This includes how to incorporate IDW in the EQAP, location data, event planning, and laboratory data. It is strongly recommended to submit IDW data to FUDSChem to ensure it is preserved and available for future reference, even when the original points of contact have moved on from the project. IDW data is used to determine whether waste is hazardous or non-hazardous. If there are future questions about disposal, this data may need to be examined. It is important to preserve the data for the sake of defensibility in order to protect the government from potential fines. When setting up your EQAP, be sure to include any applicable analysis methods that will be used for your IDW samples. A variety of waste disposal method templates are available on the CopyQAP tab. Choose Waste Disposal Methods as the source project. Add the template to your project, and adjust as needed in the following tabs. For more information on the EQAP Setup tool, please refer to our EQAP Tutorials playlist, linked in the description. Note that if IDW samples are being generated far ahead of normal field sampling, you can add IDW methods to the EQAP now, then update it later to include other methods. Alternatively, some projects may prefer to have a separate EQAP for IDW data. Reach out to your Synectics point of contact to determine what will be best for your project. IDW locations will be established under Tools, Data Submission. We will go over only the parts of this interface that have specific requirements for IDW. For more complete information, please refer to our Loading Locations tutorial videos, linked in the description. When naming your IDW location, include a property designator, the location type, IDW in this case, and a number with leading zeros. For this example, we will start with CRB for Camp Richards Base, followed by a hyphen. Next, we will enter IDW for the location type. Lastly, we will enter 001 for the numerical sequence. Note that the location ID can be a maximum of 15 characters, and the hyphen is the only non-alphanumeric character allowed. If the IDW has a fixed location, then we would enter its coordinates. However, there are cases where we could instead enter 0 for the northing and easting. This includes if the IDW samples come from a non-surveyed location, a combination of locations, such as wastewater from several distinct wells, or a non-fixed location, such as a barrel. For the location type, LTC code, choose the most appropriate item from the list. Options include BR, non-fixed locations receptacle including barrels and containers, CP, composite from several locations, WW, wastewater, SK, stockpile, TK, fixed location receptacle including tanks, containers, and vats, and SL, surface location. For location proximity code, LPR code, if the IDW material is not native to the site, choose U for unknown. For example, personal protective equipment, packaging, or other items brought onto the site should use U. For material that is native to the site, such as drill cuttings, choose I for within installation boundaries, or O for outside installation boundaries as appropriate. Be sure to include a note in the location description, lock desk, indicating that this is an IDW location. Entering the remaining information would follow the same process that is outlined in our Loading Locations tutorial videos, linked in the description. Once the EQAP and locations are set up, you can plan your IDW sampling in FUDSChem under Tools, Data, Event Management. We will go over only the parts of this interface that have specific requirements for IDW sampling. For more complete information, please refer to our event management tutorial videos, linked in the description. While it is best practice to add IDW samples to event management prior to going to the field, this process can also be done once samples are collected. Fill out the Assign Locations tab and Assign Methods tab as normal. On the Add Field Samples tab, we can plan our sample IDs. We will follow the naming conventions for samples as published in the FUDSChem user guide. Start with a location ID. Next will be an underscore, then a unique timeframe indicator. The unique timeframe indicator should be the year and quarter or year and month of sampling. For example, this sample will be named CRB-IDW001, the location ID, underscore 1Q2026, the timeframe indicator. Use the drop-down to choose a matrix indicative of waste samples. Options include LH, free-flowing or liquid waste containing less than 0.5% dry solids, LM, multiple-phase liquid waste sample, SD, drill cuttings, solid matrix, SH, solid waste containing greater than or equal to 0.5% dry solids, and ST, solid waste. For more information on how to fill out the rest of event management, please refer to our event management tutorial videos, linked in the description. Note that IDW samples can be entered into the same event as other samples or in a separate event. Be sure to let your lab know if the data needs to be submitted in a separate event, so they can prepare accordingly. When the lab submits the IDW data, they should do so in a SED 5.2 Stage 2A file. This is the required format for all laboratory submissions to FUDSChem. It is recommended that the lab submit IDW samples in their own separate file for ease of identification. Once the lab data is certified, FUDSChem's Automated Data Review, ADR, will process the data and apply qualifiers at a Stage 2A level. If manual validation is required, then the validator can adjust qualifiers as needed and upload validation reports to the library. Otherwise, the contractor or validator can finalize the data as is in order for the USACE chemist to review and approve it. Additional information on IDW best practices is available in the FUDSChem Investigation Derived Waste pamphlet, which is located at FUDSChem.com under Resources, Best Practices, before logging in. Don't forget to subscribe to the FUDSChem YouTube channel for more tutorial videos. All of the tutorials and playlists mentioned during this video are linked in the description below. Lastly, if you have questions or comments, feel free to contact us at fuds.support@synectics.net. Thank you.